Taron, how would you describe the team's psyche, mindset, kind of?
I think we're hungry. That loss left a nasty feeling in our mouth. So I feel like everybody's hungry, just motivated to play.
I don't know if you would have opted out thinking a non-playoff game, but were you thinking that your IFC career might have been over?
Nah, I knew I was gonna play all the games this season, so I wasn't worried about that.
Taron, JT, Tanner was saying JT came up and brought all the guys together to get people in the right mindset after that loss to Michigan. What was that moment like for you, and how did that inspire you?
Definitely was good. I mean, because it was at a moment where everybody kind of felt like the season was over with, and then we kind of got a breath of fresh air once we got the news we were making it to the playoffs. So I think JT was kind of just making sure the morale and everybody was still connected together and all.
What was the moment like when you saw your guys' name on the screen, selection summit?
Good. It just was like motivation. Just like, no more games, nothing. We gotta be perfect. We gotta be locked in. It's time to play.
How long between the number 3 and the number 4 did it feel like in your mind as they were announcing the teams?
I kind of feel like we was already in once. Who had lost first?
Utah.
Once Utah beat USC, so I kind of felt like after that moment we were in. There was no question about it.
Where'd you watch that game? USC-Utah game.
I watched it at my apartment with a few of my teammates, like me, Javante, Taraja.
What were you guys doing? Were you yelling at the TV?
Yeah, you might have thought we was playing in that game, how into it we were.
Did you know, Taron, when that game was over, that okay, we're gonna get another?
Yeah, I knew it 100% that we were gonna make it, and then when TCU had lost, that was just a cherry on top for 100%. I know we locked in.
How would you describe that emotional swing from how you felt after losing a game like that to your rival, and then you watch that game on Friday night and you know that you have another chance? That would seem to just be a pretty low and then a pretty high.
Yeah, Coach Day we had practice in the middle of that week, so to keep guys just kind of into it and then banging and stuff. So I felt pretty good after just knowing. It's just confirmation.
Does it excite you maybe that possibility of a rematch is still alive if you're able to beat Georgia?
Yeah, most definitely. We just gotta focus on Georgia, and then whoever we play next, hopefully it is Team Up North. That'd be great.
When you look at Georgia, and Tanner was saying you guys haven't done a ton of practice for them yet, but you've watched some film. Obviously, a rushing attack that has been very good. Quarterback who is elusive, similar to what you guys saw against Michigan. What's kind of been the thought process of handling that differently than in the last game?
Just making sure everybody's on the same page, defense is on the same page, offense on the same page, just pushing guys to get better, and then keep watching film and knowing what we're about to face.
What are the biggest things you learned about your unit from watching all the Michigan tape and stuff again?
I just know that we got a group of guys that's not afraid to go hard. They're going to lay it all on the line for each other. I think that's what I learned.
How do you balance, accommodating for the mistakes that were made against Michigan, but not losing sight of the identity this defense had through the first 11 games?
I guess we just had a bad day. I don't even want to say it was a bad day. We lost, but that's not us. We put on so much good, done so much good this year. We can't forget about the good. So just keeping that in guys' minds and not forgetting the vision that we had all along was to win the national championship.
Is that difficult sometimes after a tough loss to remember the good? It's interesting that you said that.
I say so, but not when it's right in front of you. I feel like it's literally right in front of us. We 2 games away from winning the whole thing. So what can anybody say to us after we win it all?
How eager are you to re-identify yourselves as what you proved to be before that game?
I can't wait. I can't wait till everybody sees us on TV on the field, see what we've been working. We've put in so much work. So I can't wait to display it all.
So when you talk about the good of this team, we all watched it, we all know it, but how would you describe it? If someone said, Taron, hey, I haven't watched a lot of Ohio State football. You guys are one of the 4 best teams, but why? What does this team do well in your mind?
I think we're good up front, O-line, D-line. We're one of the best in the nations. Our linebackers fly to the ball. Corners are aggressive. They can tackle. I feel like offense, we got some of the most explosive players in the country. Wide receivers, running backs. CJ the best in the business. And I feel like that's just a great team overall. We all can complement each other very well.
And we know how good Michigan's been the last 2 years, obviously. Everybody knows that. But the idea that, I mean, it's right there in front of you, obviously, to win a national championship, but you're also getting to test yourself against another great team. Because I think maybe people last year thought you guys might play Georgia in the postseason, right? Just that idea. How rewarding is that you're just talking about knowing how good your team is, and now you get to go up against another great team? Isn't that kind of why you do this whole thing?
Yeah, I mean, that's college football. You want to see good. Everybody wants to see good on good. Nobody wants to see those little games. Everybody wants to see the best play the best, and I think that's what we're going to get.
How curious are you? I mean, you're doing your own thing during the season, but how much attention do you pay to the other great teams during the year? And do you ever think like, oh man, I wonder?
I feel like you have an idea. It's hard to kind of watch games with us playing games in our schedule, but you kind of just check the scores, see the rankings every week, so you kind of have a feeling of who those top 5 teams are every week. So it wasn't a surprise like they were playing Georgia or anything.
Do you have teams you follow?
I follow Illinois just because I have former high school teammates and stuff. So LSU, just guys that I know personally. I try to follow up with their team, see how they're doing and all.
Taron, those practices after the loss, what were those like?
I finally feel like dudes were just playing angry. We had a fire lit on us. It's time to go. No more games or anything. Everybody holding everybody accountable. Players holding players accountable. Coaches holding players accountable, and players holding coaches accountable. So I feel like that's all we needed.
How do you have that feeling when you don't know yet if you have anything else left?
Yeah, it's definitely hard, but you just gotta find motivation. It's like it really all started with Coach Day. He said it from the jump. That's why he had us practice the week of all the championship games, because he was like, I know we're gonna make the playoffs, so we gotta be ready. So we can't just be surprised when it comes to us.
When you feel that way, whether you feel angry or you feel like you have a second chance at something, how does that translate onto the field? Like, how does that maybe actually make you play football better when you have that kind of emotional attitude in your head or your heart?
I feel like you just got extra motivation, and then you can just, I guess, release it. That's all I can say. It's just, I feel like it's just extra fuel to your fire, more gas in the tank. That's how I feel.
How do you guard against, Tanner mentioned guys, even him, were trying to make the big play rather than just making the play that was designed for them. How do you guard against that when you are angry, you are excited about it, and there is so much riding on it?
I mean, just the way our defense is made, just everybody do your job. You don't have to do anybody else's job but your job. And I feel like once everybody does that, we'll be that great defense that we've seen all year.
How do you feel like you do that, snap to snap, in a game? Because sometimes, right, interior defensive line, that's how you got to
just staying gap sound, staying in my gap, doing my responsibilities, being in my gap, holding my gap, not getting pushed out my gap, penetrating, just causing penetration the whole game. That's pretty much just trying to cause havoc in the backfield pretty much, and then eat it up, double teams, let the linebackers run free, make the plays, stuff like that.
How do you think you've played this year?
I think I played pretty well.
Is this the best football you've ever played?
I say so.
What's that like to do that as a senior? Was that like what was in your head?
every year I'm trying to play my best football, but I just feel like I felt confident in my ability. I felt confident in the scheme when Coach Knowles came in, and then just feeling healthy. So I had no excuses for not to produce.
How much have you guys missed a healthy Mike Hall, like over the last half of the season?
Definitely miss Mike. You always feel his presence when he comes in the game. He makes plays whenever he comes in, so definitely miss Mike.
Are you expecting a healthier Mike Hall?
Yeah, I'm expecting everybody to come back healthy. You ain't got no choice. It's the playoffs.
I mean, is it that part of it exciting as well? You have time to heal up and you'll be almost your full self?
Yeah, everybody should. It's kind of just like everybody get your legs back, your whole body back. It's kind of just a refreshed feeling, a little restart.
Taron, do you ever watch other defensive tackles around the country? I mean, just see what they've got, what they do best, like number 88, for Georgia, what Jalen Carter. I mean, have you watched him and what stands out?
I haven't personally watched him, but the games I've been able to catch, he's definitely a problem. He's definitely good. So
yeah.
Credits to him, yeah.
But do you ever see kind of, when you watch other guys, you see kind of your video too in there? You understand what I'm saying? I mean,
like where I rank
like the way you played this year and stuff.
Yeah, I definitely just like when breaking down other offenses, you see other defensive tackles going against those offenses. So
yeah,
pretty much I've seen like all the Big Ten D tackles and all. But yeah.
And what makes them stand? To me, it's the disruptive factor. Mm-hmm. Even when you're two gapping or something, you cause something to happen, you shoot a guy back into the quarterback's lap or whatever you want to call it. What just stands out about the guys that are playing at a high level in there?
Just constant penetration in the backfield, moving the line of scrimmage back, not getting pushed off the ball, and just causing just havoc every play.
Do y'all get enough credit, do you think, your ilk?
Probably not. I feel like linebackers probably get more credit, especially when you're eating up double teams and all. Because if you eat up the double team, you're pretty much the one that made that play because the linebacker, he's a free player. Nobody's blocking him, so.
Taron, you've been big favorites in every game you've played this year. It's not going to be that way. Do you think that might have actually a good effect on you guys, that you won't have the pressure of everyone expects you to win and you can maybe play a little differently?
Yeah, I mean the favorites and all. I feel like that doesn't really matter to anybody because I guess nobody really looks at that. We just worry about winning the game. So, but yeah, I mean it's cool being an underdog, but I feel like that's been us all year. Even though we've been winning, people still got something to say.
How much? It's kind of what Tim was just asking. How much can great defensive tackles influence games? Like when you see it again, whether it's what you guys are doing or whether you see other teams doing it. When defensive tackles take over, what does it look like?
I think it changes the whole game. It doesn't allow the offense to run the plays they want to run. It changes the flow of the game. You could defensive tackle penetrating the whole game can just. I guess you could literally stop it. You could literally stop the run because the line of scrimmage is always back. It's always back, and then just even making that. Causing penetration and making that the running back cut a little bit just to the outside, making him go lateral instead of vertical. So I feel like you can change the whole game.
How long in your life have you sort of been thinking that way? You've been playing defensive tackle for
pretty much my whole life, and then just seeing all the great guys that came through here and seeing how defensive linemen have literally changed the game. Like I know JT played DN, but he's pretty much defensive lineman, so. He literally changed the Penn State game. Like just seeing how we can do that every game, having a guy do that every game, we could win the game.
Is a poster play what Aaron Donald did on the last play of the Super Bowl? Joe Burrow forced that play, came around the guard, etc. Is that the kind of play you dream of? I guess.
Yeah, that's a
you do all this boxing all day, right?
That's a D lineman's dream. Yeah, call game.
Yeah, and. Do you take anything in your game from like an Aaron Donald? What do you see that you'd like to, you know what I mean, from when you watch him?
Just his pad level, his speed off the ball, the way he uses his hands in his pass rush.
Yeah.
And just the way he can fight off double teams, and then the penetration he gets in the backfield.
You can't do that every play. That's a physical grind. I know Coach Johnson likes to roll you guys in.
Yeah, I must say that's the main reason why we rotate, so guys can't do that the whole game.
But do you find yourself on occasion just summoning something that you didn't have before? You understand what I'm saying? Taron on a big play or something, an extra effort. I mean, where does that come from, I guess?
I think it just comes from practice, the way you play. So I feel like Coach Jay has us practicing at a high level, so we're able to play at a high level.
You carried a pretty big load in the Michigan game, though. You played, 40-plus snaps, I think. How did you feel physically at the end of a game like that against a great offensive line when you did play a lot of snaps?
I felt good, really. I was just angry that we lost, so my emotions, I feel like, took over the feelings I had in my body, so I wasn't really hurting or anything.
When Tommy shoots those gaps sometimes and gets in the backfield, maybe you're tying up a double team, you ever remind him of, hey, man, I helped you get in there and do that?
But I really don't have to with Tommy. Tommy knows, like, he shows love. He appreciates the D-line. He lets us know every day, so I appreciate Tommy.
But is that sometimes one of the best ways to judge defensive tackles is how much your linebackers are free to make plays, and that means that you guys up front are tying people up?
Yeah, I think so, because I feel like if the D-line wasn't doing the job, the offensive line would be able to get to the second level and make those blocks. which will allow those linebackers to make those plays.
Taron, thank you very much.
Hey, Taron, I'll see you.
Like that. Appreciate that, man.
JJB's in there. Yeah, thanks, buddy.
Oh,